Hello, everybody. It's Glenda
And Buster.
And Rosie.
with AKA GK Fralin
A friendly community.
and our friendly community
Welcomes you.
tonight. I am going to talk about my weekend. Our weekend. It was topsy-turvy. or turvy topsy. I don't know. It was mixed up. And good. And bad. And good and bad. And good. Mostly good. Okey-doke.
What in the world happened to you this weekend?
Well, we took a day off, you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Don't remember much about what happened in between, though. Okay, well, let me fill you in. I had a discussion. Kind of a heated one. Didn't yell. My voice got a little bit higher than... Okay. I was upset, and I told him so. But I felt so good. The thing of it is, okay, you want the story from the beginning? Our service provider for our internet, TV, and stuff. I'm going to say who right here, but let's just say it's been a roller coaster ride from the time we signed up. I signed up with them because their internet speed was so much faster, and I could upload it in an hour or less as opposed to 3 to 4. That's when it's on. And when I talked to this gal, I said, I've called him so many times, had him come out so many times.
Yeah. We've heard the story.
Well, they haven't.
Well, make it quick. Grump, you've been grumpy all weekend, shush.
Hey, I'm sure that's what that lady would have liked to have said. I'm sure I know I got her upset, and I really feel bad because she was a service rep. She was not the person responsible for all of this. But when they started saying that our state doesn't have enough business for them to hire a lot of, excuse me guys, I'm going to put you down for a minute, to hire more maintenance men. They have 2 for the whole state. And I live in Nebraska, okay? A lot of people think, oh, Nebraska, that's not a lot of people. Okay, let me tell you this. It is probably, I don't know the exact mileage from the east to the west, or vice versa. But it's quite a bit by comparison to some states. And this company is out of Pennsylvania, I think, which is a very populated state. Anyway, but the thing of it is, if they serve Omaha, that takes at least 2 maintenance people to service there. I'm not talking about techs who come and set it up. I'm talking about maintenance people. And this is my estimation. And Lincoln, I mean, it depends on what's going on, of course. But it's like I told her, I said, listen, Nebraska is not a small state. Well, we don't serve all the towns. And it's like, you don't drive 50 miles in any direction, expect to be where your destination is. It just doesn't work that way. So I spewed and I spewed and I spewed and I spewed. And then, of course, and she's, we can send him down to fix it again. And it's like, don't bother. It's going, you fix it and it's out again the next day. So just, I'm changing, I'm getting, so then we get up yesterday and there's no internet, there is no cable, there's nothing. So anyway, but we made something good out of that. It was nice enough weather that I was able to get out and enjoy the day, and we went down to see my folks. So you can't take any bad news and make it into good news better than that. So we got to go down to Blue Rapids and see my parents. That's where they live in Kansas. They're both in a nursing home, and I have some pictures that I took, and I'll show you those. But now the one of my mother, that's the way she looks pretty much all the time now. From what my dad said and what I've heard from my brothers and sisters. So if you don't have the best of relationships with your parents, make it up now before anything gets to this point. My mother is in the end stage of Alzheimer's, and it's sad. And we were not the best of friends when I was growing up, and probably up to my 30s. We had good times, but a lot of the time we were kind of at odds because she wanted me to still kind of, she was a mother, you know. And anyway, I always felt like I was her troubled child, her problem child. And I think a lot of that, well, what she tried to tell me and other people, excuse me. Anyway. But by my 30s, I finally started getting some sense about me because I realized, hey, you know what? I'm a mother, and I'm finding out what it's like to be a parent of teenagers. And guess what? I began to start seeing my mother's point of view. And that kind of happens, you know, unless there's been something really bad. But as I got older, I kind of saw my parents' point of view on dating and curfews and why they were necessary. And not everybody agreed with me. A lot of people don't give their kids curfews and this and that and the other thing. And I'm not going to say the right or the wrong of it. To me, I thought it was wise to have curfews. So, and they paid off. Anyway. But my mother and I developed a good friendship over the past, since I was in my 30s. So probably over the past 20 to 30 years, we developed a good friendship. And that, to me, is precious because now I'm not able to go see her that much. And when I do, she's gone farther into her debilitation with Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is not a fun disease to watch. I've taken care of people with Alzheimer's, and, well, as you'll see in the picture with my mom, she had her eyes open in that picture, and that was about the only time she had her eyes open when I was down there. She doesn't recognize me. However, she did smile at me one time. And it was like she was struggling to make the smile, but just physically. And I think that was just more due to probably sleep, just the I don't know, medications, sleep, whatever, because she sleeps a lot, according to my dad. Anyway, that is cruelty of Alzheimer's, not only to the person suffering it, because in the beginning they know what's going on. They know they can't remember things. They know they're getting mixed up. And for those of us who have to watch it, for the family members, it's not easy. I thought it would be easier on me because I had been through it with patients. No, it's not. Anyway. Dad is just, he's a jewel. And another wonderful thing about the day was a friend of mine that I kind of grew up with. her father worked with my dad and my grandpa on the farms. And now, of course, they say he worked for her, which he did. But I think Mom and Dad and Grandpa, they just always considered him just one of them. They didn't have to tell Glenn what to do. I don't think he just, he'd been there long enough. He knew what to do next. So, sometimes he'd probably come to Dad, well, what's our, what we're doing today? But I don't think there was ever any, watching over him. Never needed it. But Kay is a miracle. And her and I used to swing on the swing set at home. She would, when her parents would bring her out. There was a couple times. I just barely remember it, but that's the one thing I remember about Kay, is she'd be on one swing, I'd be on the other, and we'd be gabbing. I don't know about what. And I don't remember if she spoke very well at the time. But she did end up graduating through special ed from high school. And she's married. And they don't have any children, but she and her husband do fairly well. They both work. Don't let doctors tell you there's no hope. There's always hope. I tell my doctor, don't give me dates, don't give me numbers, because I don't want them. You need them for your records. I don't live by dates or numbers. Be positive. Stay positive. So anyway, we came home and the cable was still off, but today, late today, it came back on just in time so that we can have enough internet for me to do this, and so that tomorrow it'll still be on when they come and turn it off. So anyway, that's life. Life is like that. You've got the good and the bad all mixed together. And sometimes I let the bad get the better of me, and sometimes I don't. But I am so glad I got to see Mom. Because I don't know. You just don't know. Let's sing our song.
Okay, do it.
Two grumpy dogs.
Nah, we love you.
Good night. Good night.
Don't let the bugs bite.
Good night. Good night.
Sleep till it's daylight.
Good night. Good night.
Be kind to each other.
Good night. Good night.
Tell someone you love them.
And I love all of you. Give somebody hello. And please do subscribe or whatever you want to do with this.